Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Elias and welcome back to Skybees. In the last episode, we were working on some questing. We were trying to get through the Applied Energistics quests and we got a decent way. We still have quite a bit to do, which is what we're going to finish up today. And we're also going to do a couple other things, a couple odds and ends. So one thing to note is I have some storage thingies. We have a 1024K storage part, which is a quest. Let's get our quest book back on the bar. Refined storage. So we got to the 1024, which is cool. That is gonna go somewhere in here. Let's see, above the 16Ks. So we need more of those, but it takes forever to make them. And so one of the things we're going to do, and I think the first thing we're going to do, is you see this whole system with the hoppers? This works really well because what happens is the hoppers fill up with the items and they can pretty much instantly refill the inscriber, which can only accept one item at a time. So yeah, let's do that down here if we can to this inscriber. Now, unfortunately, what's been going on, because I watched it for a little bit, items go in here, so the redstone and the pieces, the parts, whatever, you know, the advanced processor, improved processor, whatever goes in here, and then this thing shoots out one of each, which is fine, and they go into their correct spots. Then, once they are in there, the silicon comes out of here. So this is delaying everything. So if we can make it so that there is, you know, a couple of hoppers everywhere, that's going to be the best thing. So I think, how do we rotate this again? Can we rotate it with this? No, we need a different wrench, which we made last time, the Certus Quartz wrench. By the way, we're going to be doing some building and we're going to do some other stuff. But I want to get this done first so we can go ahead and tell the system to keep kind of making things. So if we rotate this, we're gonna have to do things a little differently. So this is gonna be the problem. The piping is really weird because it's really compact here, and so I need to do something different. Something else we could do, we could always move this up one if need be. You know what? I am gonna do that off camera in just a moment, and because it's gonna require me to think about things for a second, because we have filters and all that kind of stuff going through. It's fine. It's just annoying. So before we get to all that, there's a couple things we can do. One, I caught a witch finally. Was over there at the Britannia area, the Gaia Guardian. There we go, that's his name. The Gaia Guardian boss area, and had a creeper blow up another Gaia pylon. This time I didn't get it back. And as you can see, I was over here relatively recently. But finally got a witch to spawn. So we have a witch that we can summon in. But before we do too much more, we need to kill just a few more things. So we're going to put the witch in here, and I've prepped a couple things. So turn that off. I made things a little bit different. I moved this so this could go to, so things can spawn on here and they can walk off. But the next wither skeleton should be number 100. And then we need to kill a couple of phantoms. There we go. So we've completed the phantoms, and they like to cry out after they're already dead. So we've completed the phantoms and the wither skeletons, which is kind of awesome. So let's go look at the monsters. We don't get any rewards, but I have been working on the Enderman. I'm going to need to summon in a shulker. That's going to be another one that I'm going to do. But we finally have the witches. We can do bees and blazes as well in here. So yeah, not too bad. So let's turn that off. And one last thing, actually, let's go ahead and I'm gonna dump all this stuff in here. I'm going to clean up my inventory, and I'm going to figure out how to get that, whatchamacallit, the inscriber kind of faster. And I will be back once that is done. Alright, that was not as difficult as I had thought it was going to be, so let's kind of go over what I changed. So first of all, this guy, the output I had to move. It now goes out the back, and I rerouted the energy to go around. We can actually go look at that. Nothing too major there, just a little bit of rerouting. Worked just fine. So we have the 3 hoppers. This hopper is for silicon. Silicon goes on the bottom. So what this is making, if we look at this, is like the advanced processor. So let's type that out. And let's look at the improved processor. So it's silicon on the bottom, the processor on the top, and redstone in the middle. So if this is the bottom, this is the top. The output is now on the bottom, which I've got to configure this to pull. I forgot about that part, but luckily I caught it. So the middle is going to be this one, and this is attached to the red, which is what the redstone is. And then I just had to raise this up so we can have the filters, because the hopper would take too much space. And the cyan is here for whatever component that we need, whether it's the withering processor, advanced, improved, or basic, all of these guys. So that is all that we needed to do. So let's see how well it works. I need speed upgrades. I need 45 of them. And we have the stuff. Finally, I have enough quartz enriched alloy. And so if I just put that there, it's going to send out pretty much all of it. We can do stacks, and it's gonna do the redstone first. That is kind of unfortunate. You know, I can make another stack upgrade. Do I have? Will that work? I think it will. Let's see. Let's get a stack upgrade, and because that is going to be really kind of bad, but everything goes over here, and it's going to produce these a lot faster. This fills up with whatever it needs. This fills up with everything else. It doesn't matter the order. If it makes something else in there, it doesn't make a difference. Let's just put a stack upgrade. Can we not? We can't put a stack upgrade. All right, that's fine. So, I don't know if there's a way to fix that, but into its connected inventories, I think, what do we have this on? I guess we want that because everything is going to have a filter. Nothing else is going to go in there. Okay, but regardless, that's going to make making these improved processors a lot faster. And that's going to make the entire system faster. So we need the speed upgrades for the singularity machine, which we'll get to. Hopefully I can get a little bit of work done with that between episodes. Obviously we don't have enough stuff, but I just need to set up all the importers and then get the redstone figured out. And that's going to all go down here. Not a big deal. But before we get into Applied Energistics, let's do a little bit of building. Now, I have plans to build a house here, rebuild the windmill, and then finish these 3 buildings. Apart from that, not much else is going to be done. I mean, I need to kind of rework this section, but that'll be later too. So what we're going to do is we're going to start decorating things. Now, I have the different grasses, and we have, you know, like the warped nylium over here. This is not going to just stay warped nylium. We're going to grow some warped trees and whatnot. This is probably going to stay pretty much like it is. But what we're going to do, so first thing is let's get, I think this is Forest 2. Yeah, Forest A. So we need to put down a lot of dirt. So I have the full intentions to do a lot of building in this series. I don't know how much of it I will have on, like, in the video, or if I'm going to do a lot of it off camera, just because I don't have replay mod in this mod pack or anything like that. I've never used it, and I don't intend to for this series, at least. And so it's very much a I'm going to be placing blocks like this and talking, but not much else. Can't really do time lapses, and I don't plan on it. So I don't know how much is going to be actually on camera. We're going to do a little bit today, but for the most part, that might have been a mistake. Oh well. There's a cobblestone brick in the corner, which is usually my indication of an edge, but I think I rebuilt this. I think it's good. I think it's fine. But we need to get dirt and grass going in here. And I think I'm going to run out of dirt before this is done. But kind of the intention is I'm going to do some building. Yeah, we ran out of dirt. We do need to light things up. Can that reach most of it? It can. Put some light there. And I'll figure out lighting and all that kind of stuff later as well. That is not something we want. So we need to prevent diagonal touching there. And let this spread over there. Okay, so this is going to just be grass. Nothing too exciting there. And it feels like my frames are incredibly low. What is going on with that? No clue. Anyways, this one, we're going to have netherrack. And we're going to do just a little bit of placements. And I'll probably work on this more between episodes, but we are going to have crimson nylium, because we're going to do a crimson biome on this one. So obviously it doesn't grow or transfer naturally. We have to do some other things to it, specifically bone meal. So I will do that later. But for the most part, those are going to be just kind of building. And then this is the last one we're going to do. This is my dark cave, aka I think that one is going to be, this is going to be kind of stylized like a stronghold. So we're going to have some stone, but we're also going to use some cracked stone bricks and just have those kind of randomly around. Some mostly normal mossy stone bricks. We're going to kind of do in the sense of a stronghold, with like room sections and whatnot. And then we'll have just normal stone as well. And that is going to be kind of placed around like so. And yeah, we're going to have like room sections, and we'll put some mossy in here as well as the cracked, and just try to make it look like a stronghold. Now the intention later is we are going to have little structure-y stuff in this area as well. So that is kind of where we're going to go with all that. And let's get rid of all this stuff from our inventory and get to the questing, because unfortunately I don't have the time to build. So the big reason why we haven't been doing a lot of building is I just haven't had the time to set aside to kind of work on these buildings and make them look nice. But that will happen eventually. I promise. I promise. I promise. The other thing, by the way, this section is going to be kind of awful. One, I kind of want to move the entire altar up one. On the other hand, I could not. And I think I want to move it up one, but I think I'm gonna not. But we're gonna be using some stone paths, which is just stone and blood orbs. And you know, we can tile them. There's also wooden paths that we can use which is again just wood and paths. And that's what this area is gonna look like. I'm gonna try to make something look nice with that. So I'm gonna try to work on those. Well, I'll just finish putting the dirt in that one. But I'm gonna try to work on those three areas, these three areas, between this episode and next. And here soon, maybe we can work on getting this and maybe even that hexagon done. So let's get into the actual crafting that we need to do. And I am lagging. There we go. Alright, so Applied Energistics 2, we need to do a lot of things. Let's go ahead and knock out all of the terminal quests. So just like the crafting grids and all of these things, Applied Energistics has terminals as well. So we're going to make just the basic ME terminal, which is going to require some illuminated panels, which I just want to make sure we don't have any already. We do have one. So let's see if we can get by with just that one. But we can make the ME terminal. There is that one. And then we can turn it into a crafting terminal or a pattern terminal. Let's do the crafting terminal first. So we're going to need a crafting table. So let's get that going. And we can get the crafting terminal. And that is a quest. Then we need the interface and the pattern terminals. So the pattern terminal requires a crafting terminal. So we can use that up. And the interface terminal requires just an illuminated panel. So I guess we're going to make a few more of those. And it requires an interface, which we haven't made yet. So an ME interface, these are really weird textures, to be perfectly honest. They are strange to me. We're going to need the cores again. And then we can make the interface. This is a separate quest, which is over here. Interfaces are important. They do a couple things in Applied Energistics. They're very similar to, they're kind of like the crafters, but molecular assemblers, which I think we already made, didn't we? Yeah, the molecular assembler is more akin to the crafter. The interface is like this interface, but a little bit more usable. It takes the place of the crafter as well for the processing stuff. It's a mixture between the crafter and the interface, whereas the molecular assembler is basically just a crafter that's less powerful, because the other part of the crafter where it can insert into the machines is what the interface does. But anyways, we can make the interface terminal. So pattern terminal is just like this. Interface terminal is similar to like this thing where we can see all of the crafters. That one allows you to see all the interfaces. And the last thing we need to make with that section is a blank pattern, which is exactly like the patterns. No difference. So that should be, come on, there we go. I don't know why it's lagging so bad. That should be all of those quests. Now let's go ahead and take care of the interface stuff. So we made the interface. Now we need to make an import bus, which is going to require a piston of the sticky variety. Are we going to need, let's just make like 10 of those. So we need a sticky piston, and then we can make the import bus. Works exactly like the other import buses. The export bus works exactly like all the other export buses. And then we also need a storage bus, which requires both the sticky piston and an interface. All right, let's make one of those. I'm trying not to make too many components that we don't necessarily need. But the storage bus acts just like the storage bus from Refined Storage. So that is all of those taken care of. And now we get to make all of those interface stuff, but for liquids. So again, they work just like the storage bus, export bus, I feel like we have, I know we have a storage bus on the back of that guy. Why am I lagging so badly? I'm gonna have to look into that. So there is the, you know, the storage, external storage bus, same thing. And then we have an importer here, or exporter here. Export bus does the same thing. Importer does the opposite. It imports into the system, and they both work the same way for refined storage and applied energistics. Fluid stuff is, well, it's the same thing, but with fluids. So we're going to need a sticky piston and annihilation cores, and we can get the fluid import bus. The fluid storage bus is going to require another sticky piston, and then the fluid export bus, same type of things. Yeah, I really dislike that it's lagging so much. I apologize. Hopefully I can figure out what's going on. And then we just need the fluid terminal, which is a terminal for looking at all the fluids. We just need a normal ME terminal and then make it fluid, which is just cactus green. So I think the only things left we have to do is we need to make the energy cell and dense energy cell, and then the P2P stuff. So let's do the P2P stuff first. So a memory card, that is important, and then the P2P tunnels. So I'm going to briefly explain this. If you want to know more about P2P tunneling, go look at Skyblock, where I actually have an Applied Energistics system. But basically, Applied Energistics, like we talked before, uses these things called channels. Items, if any data is transferred in the system from one place to another, it needs a channel to run on. P2P tunnels allow you to transfer different things over channels, including channels. So normally you use two P2P tunnels. They're point to point, and it's just for sending the more expensive, I can't remember, did we make them? Yeah, the more expensive, like, dense cables have 32 channels, and it's really expensive to send those over long distances. You don't really want to do that. So you put a P2P tunnel on one end and on the other end, and then you connect it with a normal wire and you power that because you need to. And basically it sends the 32 channels from here to here with normal cables in between. And it's super useful. It basically acts like this point and this point are actually just right there. Again, if you want better explanations and kind of better examples and more visual, go watch Skyblock. That's where I actually do stuff with P2P stuff, but brief explanation, that's what you get. And then finally, the energy cells. These are basically power storage for Applied Energistics. If you want to run something and you don't have a steady supply of energy, you can charge these things up and then use them. Now we need to make 8 of the basic ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we can make a dense one, which just stores more energy. And that is the chapter completed. Awesome. So now I don't have to do anything else with Applied Energistics, and we are done with it. Cool. So, I guess, what's the biggest storage part I can make? Can we make one of the 10 mil? No, because I never taught it how to make the red guys. So let's teach it how to make the red guys, and then we'll put that in the system. I don't know how I missed that one, but I did. And let's look at this recipe. So we're gonna need, let's see, what's something we can probably do? There is so many. We need 1048 mil. We need like 12 of these. So like 10 of those. That is a ton of resources. Also requires pink slime. Is that just because it needs slime balls? Oh, it's an alternate for that. Okay. So what's something else that we can do? We do need to have more of, let's see, the 1024. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. So let's just go ahead and see if we can't do that. The answer is no. We are missing a lot of quartz-enriched iron. So can we do 3 of them? If we have 800 of these, which we don't. By the way, I put a void upgrade on this so that this won't fill up with seeds, because we get a lot of seeds. All right, so at this point, it's going to be awful to make all this stuff. The basic parts require improved processors. And since everything requires the previous, let's just make, I don't know, a bunch of improved processors. How many can we get away with? Can we make 1,000 of them? Certainly. And then we can come down here, and this is going to fill up with 1,000 things, and we'll eventually, we have all of the silicon in there. Let's get a little bit of stuff going. But yeah, this will just make a bunch of processors, and then I can do that a bunch of times as we get more stuff and not worry about things. So that is the idea there. Anyways, with that. So at this point, I need to put a muffling upgrade on that. At this point, we don't really have anything else to do right this instant. I can start setting up the singularity machine and start looking at trying to get all of these other materials coming in and see maybe if we can make our first singularity. Now, secret, if we end up making one of these things, we'll make one extra singularity, and then we have infinite singularities. Then we can make more of these guys, and then we can make infinite of these. And once we have infinite of the vending upgrades, we could just, you know, make one of the 1Ks and have infinite of them. And then we can make everything else. You know, we could have all of these parts being infinite. And so that's kind of what we're trying to do. And once we do that, it's game over. We win. No longer have to worry about this series at that point, because everything is going to be so easy to do, because everything is going to be a creative item. So it's basically just getting that first creative item and getting the, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 24, 25 singularities that we need. Granted, that is 250,000 of all these items, because it is 10,000, 25 times 10,000 is, yeah, that's a lot. But some of these things, redstone and lapis, we have, I don't know why the numbers don't like to show up, but we have like 600. So it is going to be a lot of work. Obviously, I need to upgrade all the apiaries to actual apiaries. And I'm going to work on that a little bit between episodes. Just kind of clean up the bees and make sure everything is working nicely, if I can get a chance to. But that is going to be it for today's episode. I am going to work on these 3 little sections, just kind of getting the flooring down. And then next time, who knows what we're going to do. We still need to do astral sorcery stuff. And that is probably what we're going to start working on. Otherwise, we're going to do some building, and we'll have a building episode. Not sure. We'll see how my time goes and what we can get done. But that's the plan, at least. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!